Hey guys, so today I'm going to be filming a Maleficent tutorial. I'm sure you figured that out by now. I'm going to voice over because it's just a lot quicker, and this video would have been at least an hour long if I'd done talking during the video. So I'm just going to get right into it. I started out with the Stila One Step primer, mainly just because it's got the green in it and I needed to get rid of some redness. We're going for a very just white face, so I didn't want any redness. Next, I'm going in with the Baby Skin by Maybelline Perfector, and I'm putting this all over my T-zone, my cheeks, my chin, anywhere basically there's pores, which is the entire face. The white that I'm going to be using is from Walmart. It's just a cream white, along with the new Ready Set Gorgeous foundation by Maybelline, just because it was on hand and easy to go to. Now I'm putting this on the back of my hand and mixing it together. This is a couple shades lighter than my natural skin tone, which is the whole point, because we are going for that pasty kind of vampiric look that Angelina had in the movie. Now, something specific about this tutorial is that I am modeling it after the new Maleficent movie with Angelina, so I'm not going to go crazy intent on trying to look exactly like her, but you will see that my contouring, when I do the eyes, the nose, the eyebrows, even her little freckle she has above her eyebrow, I do it all just because that's what I'm modeling it after. So I just put that all on my face. I'm going with the Beauty Blender to just blend it out because I can't do my makeup without a Beauty Blender. And then wherever your highlights are, you're going to want to make as white as possible just because you are doing a pale face. So it just makes sense that where your highlights are, you're already light. You need it as light as possible. So I'm just putting, I think I actually made this a little lighter than when I did all over. So it's acting almost like a concealer. But you're just going to go in and blend that out the same way you did the foundation. And now I'm going to go in with my trusty concealer by NARS. This is almost too matchy. You know, it almost kind of matches the new foundation color I created, which is fine. But this is just going to add an added highlighter benefit to the look. So I'm just going to put that all in the normal highlighting zones. Now, when I go in to create the cheekbones, I am making them a bit different because Angelina does have her face isn't as round as mine is, and her cheekbones aren't as low. She has a higher set of cheekbones, so I'm going to be recreating that. I'm putting a little concealer on the front of my eyebrows just because hers are further apart. And like I said, I am modeling it after her. So I'm going in with the contour color from the Beige Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to be using that for all of my contour. From my nose, cheekbones, temples, eyes, pretty much everything. That's going to be the main color you see on my face. So I'm just taking a normal, this is another BH Cosmetics brush. It's an eyeshadow brush. I'm just going in. Now, when they created the Maleficent look, her nose is actually quite thin. They went through and they thickened it up, made it broader with a little notch in it from the side, just to kind of make it more strong and almost menacing because, I mean, she is Maleficent after all. So her features were roughened up a bit. So I'm just going to recreate my nose because mine is also a little lean, just by putting that contour a little lower on the side of my nose to drop that shadow down. I'm sorry for the lighting. My lighting today was just ridiculous because the weather here has been a little crazy. It's been cloudy, but I had to move the camera a couple of times. Now, when you're making the notch for the effect, the notch, you can see that I don't make a straight line on that side, and that's for a specific reason. You can see that it kind of makes the nose look like it has a notch in it. So that was on purpose, just in case someone's out there saying, you know, well, it's not a straight line. It's not supposed to be. So for the eyes, my eyes are quite similar to hers. It's just that her eyelids are a bit more almond, and mine are quite round. So it's quite easy to take mine from almond to round. Or from round to almond. Can't even talk right now. But I'm using the same brown, and I'm going in and just recreating the shadow of a crease to reshape the crease line on my eyes to match hers just a little bit more. a lot of this I'm going to fast forward through. You'll notice that the speed picks up from here on out in a couple of the clips, just because, like I said, I'm trying to make this as short as a video as I could. But, you know, it is kind of an in-depth tutorial, so it's kind of hard to just speed through it real quick, because the tiniest thing, you know, someone might need, because everyone's at a different level of proficiency when it comes to makeup, whether it be normal or costume. So I'm just going to speed through getting the shadows. Now, the thing is, you'll notice if any of you are artists or you draw, especially if you use pencil or charcoal, charcoal is my favorite, and the reason I love it is because you can literally draw a single line and then smudge the crap out of it and turn it into something else, and it just adds depth and changes the entire look of whatever it is you're drawing. And contouring is the exact same thing. You're putting shadows where there aren't shadows to begin with, and it recreates your face. So I'm just going with the same contour here on my temples, giving it a more hollow look and more dimension. And I'm going to speed through this side. And I ended up using my finger. I was going to use the brush. The first run through, I only did this one other time, and I used the brush the entire time. But when I was pressing to figure out where I wanted my temples, I had some of my finger and it kind of smudged. And I was like, oh, that works just perfectly. So I used my finger instead. You don't have to. You can use whatever you want to create the same effect. So for the cheekbones, like I said, I am bringing them forward. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up my eyebrow to where the my hairline is, where it meets my ear right there. And I'm basically just going to take that curve and bring it down, because you want the look to be harsh but balanced. You don't want to, you know, just create boxes on your face. We want everything to flow nicely. So I am bringing my cheekbones out, and when you do this, what that shadow is going to do is bring whatever's in front of it in the center of your face forward and out. So that's going to create the effect. I did consider for a while doing prosthetics, like creating my own cheekbones, but in the end I just thought it was going to be too much trouble for a look that I'm not even doing for Halloween, and I didn't want to even get there. I really wanted to just use makeup and make it organic and as easy for, say, anyone who just wants to do this look and doesn't want to get too in-depth for it, because, you know, a lot of people do love to go all out for Halloween, and there are some people who, you know, they don't want to be, you know, their normal selves, but they don't want to go crazy with prosthetics and fake blood and all that. So this is just a really something you can do if you've got the right eyeshadow colors and a brush. Like, it's really easy for everyone to attain. So I added, you want to add shadow more on the hollows right there to create that more sunken in. That face was because of the lighting. It looked a lot different in my view cam. I know now watching the video I'm kind of like, oh, it wasn't so bad, but when I was sitting there it looked pretty bad. So you're just going to, wherever you want obviously more shadow, you're going to apply more contour. So that's what I did. I wanted it more hollowed out on the bottom, not so much at the top, other than by my ear. And then I'm just going to go in, and the most important thing about contour or any makeup that you do will be to blend, 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 blend. So I'm using two different brushes. Both of these are by Real Techniques. They are my go-to brushes. I actually just bought, I think the last one that I didn't have. I think I have all of them now, so yay for that. So we're just going to blend. Now you can see how that looks more like a shadowy cheekbone thing. Now remember that this look is for obviously nighttime, Halloween. There's not many people that get dressed up and go out during the day unless you have kids, and then you're really not doing this kind of look. So it does look a little obvious in the day, but when I took the pictures and when I was in a darkened room, it looked a lot better. So just keep that in mind. I know it looks a little costumey right now, but it looks a lot better at night, just saying. So now we're going to bring that contour down to the jaw, make it more squared off and harsh, so that it matches the cheekbones and all the other angles that I have going on. And when I get to the chin, I'm going to square it off, because Angelina does have more of a broad, strong chin than I do. Mine's a bit softer and pointier. And you just create that little indents there on the side, and that'll bring the chin up and make it look squared. And then you blend to where it looks like a natural shadow, and you have an automatic chin lift, or chin implant, however they do that. So I'm going to add shadow well below my natural lip. This is going to simulate a new shadow to when I create the Angelina lips to make it look a bit less fake, even though they're going to look really, really fake. You don't have to do the lips. Like I'm saying, you don't have to do this like Angelina. I just prefer to do it that way because she looked amazing in the movie. This is a MAC. I don't really know the number. I'm going to have to put the number in the description box because I can't remember right now. But this is where I'm going to recreate the eyes. Now, this is only the second time I've done this. I've never before tried to emulate Angelina, so this is a rough kind of application of her features. But I'm like I said, I'm not trying to go all out, be her twin. It's just I'm borrowing some of her features because I thought that they looked really good with the Maleficent look. So I'm just going in and kind of reshaping my eyelid. She does have a bit more protruding eyes, so I'm creating those fake shadows to mimic that. Then I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I just got this. I'm actually really loving it. I didn't think I was going to. And I am going to use the brow pomade like I usually do after this, but I wanted to kind of get them drawn on because sometimes I get carried away with the brow pomade and I just go brow crazy. And she does have very thin, arched brows, especially in the movie. So I didn't want to get carried away and not have them look anything like I was aiming for. Now, I don't have contacts. I really wanted to get contacts for this, but I just, I didn't want to spend the money. I'd rather spend it on whatever costume I am going to do, which I still haven't figured out. I've got a couple more to try, a couple more tutorials, so maybe I'll figure it out. Depends on what we do. We usually don't do anything. I'll have to have a face on for the kids when I answer the door. But last year I did something really creepy and they weren't too much of a fan. Probably not the greatest idea. So once I get those drawn on the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and add her little birthmark that she has right above her eyebrow and just borrow that from her. As you can tell, I have plenty of other birthmarks on my face. It's just not in the one specific spot that I needed. So now I am going with the pomade and just kind of making them a lot more put together, really. This is just to frame them. I'm not filling them in with the pomade. I'm just literally doing the outside edges. Then I'm using the Anastasia clear brow gel to set them and to shape them into even further, really. This is by NYC. It's just a simple white liner. I'm going to use this for highlighting the eyes. What I'm going to do is highlight the areas that are similar to her eye shape, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend them out. And this is going to be on the top of my eyelid in the middle, right above my iris, and then it's going to be on the underside, right above that shadow I created on the lower lash line, because like I said, she does have almond-shaped eyes, and then it's going to be in the inner corner to create a more cat-like effect, because she really does have cat eyes. And mine aren't. Mine are very, very round. So once I get those in, I actually, doing this, I had my finger pressed to my face, and when I lifted my finger, because I did use the Halloween makeup mixed in with foundation, the foundation didn't set quite like it usually does, so I noticed it came off a little bit, so I went in and set it, which I should have done in the first place, but I didn't even think about it. So I just used the white so that I didn't take away from the color, and just pressed that in all the highlighted areas real quick, and then I went back in. Now you don't want to blend the highlight too much. I just blended the out edges so that it would blend in with the other parts of my eye, but I could have left most of it there. Now I'm taking another Real Techniques brush, just an eyeliner brush with the e.l.f. cream eyeliner, and going ahead and building up my false lash line to mimic hers. Once again, this is all about copying the cat eye effect that she has. And then this is where I'm going to add a little bit of a sharp point here to mimic the sharpness of her inner corners, which is what makes her eyes look so catty. And then I'm going to go in with another eyeliner, an actual it's calligraphy pen by Laura Geller, and just clean up that line so it looks a bit more precise. Which you'll notice a lot of this is very messy, but that's just because I go in at the end and I blend everything and it looks a lot better. We are doing a slat cat eye since the whole point is to mimic her cat eye. I'm not going to leave that swoop, the little arch, out, because when I put falsies on, after that I'm going to put some eyeshadow there, so it's not going to look like that. Because I'm sure people are saying, oh, she didn't have that look. So we're just going in, curling your lashes, putting your basic mascara on, and then I'm going in with these House of Lashes Pixie Luxe lashes and putting those on real quick. And they're pretty dramatic, but they're not too dramatic. I didn't want anything crazy. They just add the right amount of extra oomph, I guess. They were the closest to the picture that I was going off of. That's why I used them. So I'm just going in and cleaning back up. Then I'm going in with MAC's Carbon eyeshadow with that MAC brush. And this is where we're going to soften up the eyeliner and create more depth on that shadow to kind of promote the Angelina eye. So after this, you really won't even see that cat eye. It just acts as basically a darker shadow, which is the whole point of a false line. And the great thing about this is you can be messy, seeing as it is a night look. You're going to be in the dark, so unless you're going to be in some lit area, you're not going to have to worry about someone seeing like a tiny mistake that you made. We're going to bring that eyeshadow up into the temple to create that kind of evil, Maleficent look. Everything is going to, in the end, match out. This is a Maybelline lip liner in Rose. I think it's Rose. It might be something else. I'll list everything that I use in the description box below, but this is where we're going to go. And I used a lip liner that matched as closely to my natural lip color as possible for the initial draw-on, just because it's just what I had on hand, and if you make a mistake, it's easy to fix it. So now we got some big, crazy overdrawn. This is actually the color that they used in the movie. I was researching everything to see if it would make it easier, but I just want to let you guys know the MAC line that they came out for Maleficent was all obviously inspired by the movie, but that was the color they actually used. Now I'm going in with another Halloween makeup thing. These things were 97 cents at Walmart, super cheap. And this one is just in black, and I'm going to go ahead and draw her little fake headpiece. I'm not doing the whole horns and everything because, like I said, this isn't a look that I'm committing to, and honestly, I don't have enough people watching this video or my channel really to go all out. So, and I'm lazy. You guys know that if you watch my videos. So I do bring this into my hair. I think honestly this would work really great if you had black hair, because you could probably fashion the horns out of your own hair. I've seen a couple people do that, and the paint that you're using would pretty much disappear into your hair, but I make it work. It's kind of like an ombre effect. It isn't too bad. So then I'm just going in and cleaning the detail, and that is pretty much it. Just layer on the black, and that is all. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and that you come back for more. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.